ang problema'y hindi kaya. Siya ang tutulong at magbibigay solusyon. Naghihintay siya na lumapit tayo sa kanya ngayon, halika. Every time we pray to our Lord God, our stress gone, we carry on. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Every time we worship our Lord God, our stress gone, we carry on. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Nang rumaragasang alon ng pagsubok, hindi dapat manghihina, hindi dapat matakot. Tumingin ka lagi sa mga pangako ng Ama. Lahat ay posible kung uunahin natin siya. Ulit-ulit nakakastas, tulad pa rin ng kahapon. Nasa balikat mo pa rin ba ang problema mo? Kapatid, halika, andalahin, ilapit mo sa Ama mo. Dati sarilinin ang problema'y hindi kaya. Siya ang tutulong at magbibigay solusyon. Naghihintay siya na lumapit tayo sa kanya ngayon, halika. Every time we pray to our Lord God, our stress gone, we carry on. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Every time we worship our Lord God, our stress gone, we carry on. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Every time we pray to our Lord God, our stress gone, we carry on. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Every time we worship our Lord God, our stress gone, we carry on. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Every time we pray to our Lord God, our stress gone, our hope is strong. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Every time we worship our Lord God, our stress gone, ito ang solusyon. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Kayang-kaya when we pray to the Lord God. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon. Kayang-kaya when we pray to the Lord God. Kayang-kaya na ulit, tara't bumangon, bumangon, bumangon.
Don't be afraid to take the baby steps. It's another day. Don't forget God's just a prayer away. Don't give up now. Trust the process and keep learning. And if you need a friend, we're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. We're in this together, together, together. Together as a family in faith and melody.
Yes, magandang umaga, tanghali at gabi. Good day, good afternoon, and good evening. And welcome back, everyone, to today's program at this time of the hour, Faith and Melody. Is the program where we have meaningful conversations on our faith as members of the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ, and also listen to INC original music. How is everyone today? Hopefully everyone's having a great start to their day, a great start to their week, depending on which part of the world that you're tuning in from. Hello, hello, especially to those who are tuning in with us live right now there in the Philippines. Thank you so much for staying up, to each and every one of you. Thank you for your pangpapuyat, for staying up with us. And hopefully you can tune in for the next 2 hours as well. But whether you are watching us live or watching us on our replay, welcome to today's episode of Faith and Melody with our topic, work and play. So we're very excited to get into this topic in a little bit. But before that, let me introduce myself. This is your Kuya J-A-Y, your Kuya J Esperanza, broadcasting all the way here in the land down under in the district of Australia West. And hopefully, everyone that's tuned in from this part of the world, I know it's a little bit early in the morning, but yes, good morning to each one of you. But if it is your first time tuning in with us on our broadcast here on Faith and Melody on INCRadio, here's what you can expect on our broadcast on our show for today. Of course, in a little bit, we have our icebreaker just to break the ice in our conversation. So hopefully, each one of you can join me in our icebreaker today. We've also got a special selection of INC original music. And of course, if you have any song requests, one of our segments here is Faith and Melody Heartbeats. For those special song requests that you have, any INC original music that you want us to play on our show for today to get you through whatever task or activity that you're doing right now while you're listening into our show. And of course, our topic, work and play, and our verse of the week for this week on Faith and Melody. So we do encourage everyone to, if you are listening to us on the radio, make sure that you're subscribed to our YouTube channel as well. We do have our INC Radio DZEM 954 YouTube channel where you can subscribe and you can also hit the notification bell. That way, whenever all the programs and all the shows here on INC Radio is live, because we're live 24 hours a day, you'll get notified of all these programs because we have so much great programs, so much different topics that can help you get through your day, to be inspired, to reach out to all the other brothers and sisters all over the world. So it's a very, very exciting time that we can connect with with everyone around the world through the means of our YouTube channel. And you can join us on our topic discussions. Yeah, you can greet everyone. I can see a couple of greetings already coming through. Even the ones from the Philippines actually is tuning in. Kuya Mario Oka is always there supporting INC Radio pretty much everywhere. So thank you, Kuya Mario. Quick early shout out for you because you're one of our early birds for our show here today. So with that, I think before we get into our topic discussion, as said earlier, let's break the ice a little bit. Let's move on to our icebreaker segment.
Icebreaker!
That's right. So icebreaker. So our icebreaker for today is a simple one, a nice and easy one. So hopefully you can join me here. And it's basically a this or that. One of the classics. Very easy. We've got two options here. I'll put it there in the live chat for those who are also playing along and want to join in and share their answers. So our first this or that for our icebreaker: emails or meetings? What do you prefer? Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer emails or meetings? I guess this has to do with communication, with talking to people, right? When you want to reach out, when you want to pass over a message to someone, do you prefer emails or do you prefer meetings? While you're typing in your answers, let me give a quick shout out. Hello to Ka Priscilla Batan saying hi, hello, happy watching from Rizal. Make a great day po to everyone, always. And she's saying, God bless to everyone that's tuned in. Hello po, Ka Priscilla. Thank you so much for tuning in. To our sister Melvi Tamaya saying hello, good morning, and happy Monday to everyone. And we also shouted out our Kuya Mario Oka. And of course, our executive producer of Faith and Melody is also tuned in all the way from Hawaii, very early there in the morning right now. So hello, aloha kakayaka to our sister Des Asenas there in Hawaii. But yes, this is our icebreaker. What do you prefer? Emails or meetings? Feel free if you want to join and want to participate. If you want me to read your answers, type it down there in the live chat. That's why it's good for us to be subscribed to our YouTube channel so you can join in using the live chat feature. But for me personally, I prefer emails. If it's something that you just want to pass on to someone, information, suggestions, things like that. I don't know. I like emails because I feel like most of the meetings I've been through in my life, I would say 95% of them have been a little bit too long, in my own personal opinion, which is fine because sometimes you want to get everyone's opinion, and sometimes emails, it's easier to be able to express your feelings. I can see both sides. I can see why meetings could be good because you can have the floor So each person can take have their time on the floor to speak out their suggestions, their thoughts. So I get the idea of meetings, but overall, what I've experienced in my professional, in my line of work in the past, especially working in retail and in the office, uh, most meetings I've been to could have been done over an email, and you spend like an hour, right? You spend an hour in a meeting, or maybe more, and then it's like that could have just been sent in a quick email, dot points. You can read it over and over again, but emails do get lost, right? So emails can sometimes get you can get piled on with so many emails that you don't get enough time to actually get to it. So yeah, there's that too. But personally, I would go with emails, right? Most of the time, I would go with emails. Okay, let's go with something a little bit easier. Easier? Maybe it's easier. Okay, this or that for our icebreaker. Next one: gym, going to the gym, or doing a home workout. So just want to give a quick shout out as well to our brothers, our Kuya Tex, our brothers there in the main studio, Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene. Good morning, Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene. You can also share with us, Kuya Nico. Do you prefer going to the gym or do you prefer working out at home? Our sister Des is sharing, says depends. For our first, our earlier icebreaker, emails if not urgent. That's true. I think as well, if it is urgent, I almost think like a phone call would be important when it's if it's not too urgent. But yes, our next one anyway. Gym, going to the gym, actually getting up, getting ready, and I guess walking or going to your car or making your way over to the gym and to do your workout, or do you prefer working out at home? Our kuya, our brothers there in the main studio says home workouts. I would agree. I prefer doing workouts at home just because it's a little bit more comfortable. I know depending on what you want to do, you may not have all the equipment, but surprisingly, since I've gotten back into exercising, I mostly exercise at home just because of time constraints, right? Like the time it takes to get to the gym and then get ready, and then you have to share machines with other people. There's a lot of what they call body weighted exercises that you can do at home, right? And you'll be surprised how challenging you can make your exercises at home just using your body weight. Push-ups are hard, right? If you think push-ups are easy already for you, try doing a pike push-up. If you don't know what a pike push-up is, this isn't the show for that. Go ahead and you can look that up online. But a pike push-up, it makes it very much more heavy on your arms, right? And on your shoulders. And then, of course, you can do body weighted squats, and there's a lot of different squat variations you can do. So you can definitely get a very good workout at home. And what I've learned, because I've had a membership to the gym before, and paying it for at the beginning of the year when everyone have their New Year's resolutions and goes, oh, this year I'm gonna get fit, I'm gonna get healthy and muscular and strong, so I'm gonna get a gym membership. And then you end up using it maybe like a couple of weeks in the year just because of how busy it is. Yeah, it's one of those times I'm like going, man, I'm not like working out to join those competitions, like where you strengthen your body and build it all up. But yeah, it's like just want to get a little bit fit, a bit more stronger. So definitely a lot of things you can do at home. Our Kuya texts there are saying doing a push up with one hand. Uh, I can't do that yet, but definitely you can make push-ups and you can make any home-based exercises more difficult. Uh, our Ate Melvi, hello Ate Melvi, she shares here for her home workouts for our sister Melvi because there's less distractions. That's very true. And she also says didn't have a good experience working out in the gym. Uh, I've I think I haven't had like a bad experience, but basically it was the distraction part of going to the gym for me. It's like you have to wait and share the equipment many times. And then people come up to you while you're in the middle of a set or like a workout, which is, I get you go to the gym to work out. You don't really go there to socialize. But I know people who now a lot of the younger ones go to the gym, and one of the things is like they do meet a lot of new people. So I guess in a way, going to the gym is a way to socialize or meet new people. But personally, uh, I prefer going to the gym to get my workout done in and out, basically. So yeah, home workout for me. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So thank you to those who are sharing their insights and joining us on our icebreaker. If you just tuned in, we are just in our icebreaker just before we get into our topic discussion. Our next icebreaker: do you prefer home cooking or food food delivery, home cooking or food delivery? So instead of you making your food at home, actually going through, and there's a lot of different apps that you can install nowadays on your phone, and I think pretty much worldwide. Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene, in the Philippines there, and Kuya Mario Oka is there also, that's tuned in. Do you have food delivery apps where you can just get on your phone and you can order things and then they just deliver it to your door? Do you have food delivery apps? I'm actually curious to know. Because I know many places in the States and here in Australia for sure, we've got those food delivery apps. But personally, most of the time, home cooking for me. There's just something different when with home cooking. I don't know. I think they always say there's a special ingredient whenever someone that cares for you, that loves you, uh, cooks for you, because there's an extra ingredient there called love, right? When they prepare your food at home. Yeah, so home cooking for me, it's like it's not many places here that serves, adobo or sinigang, and those favorites. I mean, food delivery, like certain things, makes it easy sometimes, but actually, here, Sister Melby says, for her, for home cooking or food delivery, she says both. If I'm too exhausted to cook, then home delivery it is. I can appreciate that, Sister Melby. It's very, very true. Like, it's not easy to actually, after a long day of work or a long day of studying, going to school and all that, and you get back home and maybe you have other duties, other meetings and responsibilities. By the time you have time to eat, you're just so drained and tired. So food delivery apps do come in handy. That's true. Um, yeah, well, there you go. But if anyone from the Philippines know if there's any food delivery apps that they have there, let us know there in the live chat. But the next one, before just to round off our icebreaker before we get into our topic discussion, uh, would you prefer? And I like this one. This or that for our icebreaker: 4-day work week or a 5-day work week? Which one do you prefer? A 4-day work week or a 5-day work week? I don't know. I feel it's a little bit controversial, is it? Maybe. I know a few places. I know here in Australia and there in the US, in the States, a couple of companies have started to try and implement a 4-day work week. Who wouldn't want that, right? You've got an extra day every week that will be counted as your weekend. But while you're typing in your answers, yeah, Sister Des also shares here for food delivery apps. We have food delivery apps, but we prefer to pick up the food ourselves. That's true, because sometimes there's actually, when it comes to food delivery apps, one of the things that's been going around, the food delivery drivers get hungry. Right? When you order food, they smell the food and they get hungry, and they might grab a chip here, take a bite there, maybe. I don't know if that's ended up happening anywhere else, but I know here in Australia that has come around. So having a food delivery app and then you go and you just pick it up there, yeah, that makes it a lot more, especially if it's on the way back home. It makes it a lot more simpler, and the food is ready. You're not waiting so long there at the restaurant to wait for the food because you've ordered over in advance, right? Hello as well there to our Manang Flo from Oregon. She's saying hello, Faith and Melody. I think she might be at work right now, but thank you, Manang, for tuning in and also supporting. But I think for me, I would prefer a 4-day work week. If I can make the work week shorter, I would go with that, because I prefer going out and having adventures rather than being stuck in the office or doing work. I know many other occupations can't do that, right? Especially the ones are first responders and those who are really part of, like in terms of hospitality and also hospitals and doctors and things like that. But right, for most of us, I think a 4-day work week would be nice. Uh, Sister Melvi says 4 days for her, but unfortunately, my work doesn't allow it. Right? Hopefully, it catches on. Manong Flo says, I have done 4-day work weeks. I love the 3 days off, but I'm back to 5 days work, to a 5-day work week. Well, there you go. I didn't realize that we've actually got people who have experienced 4-day work week. So it's nice, right? It's nice to have a 4-day work week, to have 3 days off just to re-energize, recharge, relax, catch up with your family, catch up with friends, which will actually play into our discussion for today, about work and play. So I think we've well and truly broken the ice, and with that last icebreaker, we've actually been able to get into, like, take a segue to our topic discussion, because this work week and also having time for your social and for your family and for yourself, uh, pretty much what's going to be covered a little bit in our discussion about work and play. So before we get into that, what we'll do, let's take a quick musical break. Again, if you have any song requests, let us know in the live chat section. But this next two songs that we'll play for you is titled, and they're also, especially this one, I Have You, is a very popular one. And also, Lakas Ko sa Kahinaan. So don't go anywhere. We'll be continuing our topic discussion after these two musical breaks. Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene, take it away.
When darkness surrounds me and all seems lost, and the problems I face are seemingly insurmountable, I bow my head and pray, full of hope, 'cause I have the Almighty who will save me from trouble.
People fear for today and worry about tomorrow, but I won't despair. I know you'll get rid of my sorrow. This world may feel helpless with the stress and spreading illness, but with your help, my Father, I'm truly blessed.
Never stop serving you, my God. Even when I'm down, you come with your love. I am strong and brave. I will never be afraid, 'cause I have you.
You inspire me to wait patiently and hope for the grace you reserve for me. I'll endure, come what may. In my duty, I will stay, 'cause I have you.
And whatever situation, I keep on serving.
Sa tuwing ako ay nalulumbay sa mundo kung saan ako'y naglalakbay, ikaw lamang ang laging kaakbay. At sa tuwi na ay nagsisilbing gabahay, hindi mo pinababayaan, palaging inaalalayan. O Ama, ikaw ang kasama sa lungkot at kahirapan, lakas ko sa kanila. O Ama, pag-aalagin pa ang pag-ibig at pag-asa at pananampalataya. O Ama, pag-ibig na di matutumbasan, tanging sa'yo ko lamang matatagpuan, at ang biyaya mong walang hanggan, nasa tuwin ay aking nakakamtahan. Ako'y di mo pinabayaan, palaging inaalalayan. O Ama, ikaw ang kasama sa lungkot at kahirapan, lakas ko sa kahinaan. O
everyone, to Faith and Melody. And yes, let's begin with our topic discussion today, which is titled Work and Play. So before we get into the nitty gritty, as they say, of work and play, first thing, just to begin this conversation, for especially for those who are tuned in right now, a quick shout out to Kuya Rod Kahayag that's just also just tuned in there during our icebreaker. But our topic today is about work and play, and in terms of finding balance between the two. So to begin that discussion, what does work and play mean for you? Since we're talking about work and play, what does play, what does that mean for you out there? So hopefully you can join us and share your thoughts with us, your insights in this discussion. But let me go ahead and share some of mine when it comes to think whenever I think about work and play, because many times a lot of us focus on just work, right? Right? Am I the only one that's like that? And many times the play part may not have that much attention. So for me, let's start it off with work. Work is anything that requires you to do effort, right? When it's something that maybe it's not something that it's something that has been assigned to you from a task, a job. Maybe it's a school work, homework. That kind of takes me back to school days when you get given assignments and homework and you get assigned extra work. That's probably why it's called work. Housework as well, or chores, as they say. For those who also are working, have a job or a career, there's also work there. And it's good too. The good thing about work is, for one, it provides the things that you need, right? You need to have a job. You need to be able to contribute to society in some way so that you can have the means to provide for the things that you need in life, such as maybe ordering food from the food delivery apps, or maybe a gym membership, right? Or going or going on vacation, whatever it is. Work is generally where it provides you with the funds to be able to do those things, to be able to live life the way that you want. But at the same time, it also allows you to grow. With work, with certain things, maybe you find that there's certain skills that you need. So you might set goals. You might go ahead and find out areas where you can grow and set deadlines so that you can meet those goals, right? Pursuit of growth, pursuit of achievements. That's generally where the work aspect comes in. People study hard, right? They go to school, they go to college, university, whatever it is afterwards, so that they can attain the necessary knowledge, wisdom, and the skills that they need to be able to reach, like the plans that they have in their life. That they want to be a particular, enter a particular field of career, you need to generally go do some work. You have to get the skills. You have to learn things. You have to do the work so that you can attain the goals that you want in life. Now, play, on the other hand, for me, is, and maybe for most of you, is the things that relaxes you, the things that recharges you. If you do work all the time, you generally can get a bit tired, right? If you're just doing one thing. So generally, the play aspect of our discussion today, it's got to do with things that are that it gives us enjoyment, things that gives us relaxation. Maybe it's a hobby. I know a few people who take on photography as a hobby, and when they have time for themselves, they go to the zoo and they take photos. They go out in nature. They go for a walk. They bring their camera with them. They're taking photos of birds and things like that, or of landscape. They go on vacation, they travel and take photos of the scenery, of the skyline and things like that. I was into astrophotography at one point. Um, just that it got a bit too late. 'Cause obviously, astrophotography is taking photos of the sky, generally like the Milky Way, the stars, and all of that. Time lapses are cool. They take a long time. If you're trying to do a time lapse of the sky moving across, right, the stars moving across the night sky, you have to be there for hours. And generally, it's you're out there where there's like no light, so that you can get photos of the sky at night. And it takes time, but it does give you an area where you can learn or be more creative. So generally, play It includes your social interactions. Maybe when you're doing a hobby, it allows you to explore new ways to be creative. And generally, it makes you happy. Most of the times, that's what I would consider as play. It's the things that makes you happy. It's the things that you look forward to. I think more people look forward to the play aspect than they do work. Although I do know a few friends, I do have a few friends and a few other people that look forward to work more than they do going out and socializing, right? So we're going to get into that in our discussion in a little bit. But overall, balancing the two is important, right? Play is important for the mental health, for physical health, because that's where you get to relieve all the stress and all the weight of your shoulders that work gives you, because work generally is covered with a lot of stress. Your boss is giving you deadlines, your supervisor is giving you deadlines, you got to get things done, you've got a million and one things to do, and somebody comes along and says, I need this done first. Right? And but everything is urgent and nothing is not urgent, right? So generally the play part is what helps you to relax and unwind and get rid of all that stress, that little bit of time that you need for yourself. So with that, the next thing that we want to ask is, why then is balancing work and play important, right? Because it feels like a lot of people, I do know a few people who might just be all about work, right? Their biggest focus in life is work. They don't really have time for anything else. And then others, like what would be the downside if it's just about play? So it's all about really balancing the work aspect and the play aspect in life, right? So why is that important? Why is balance of work and play important? Let us know your thoughts there. I just want to give a quick shout out to some messages here that I'm getting there in our YouTube live chat. So of course, everyone is greeting each other. But for Kuya Rod, what about those who play sports and that's their livelihood? I never thought about that. That's actually pretty cool, right? It's true. There are some people whose work is to play, right? And there's I know there's a saying out there that if you can make your work fun and you can make it and you see it as a form of play or as a form of relaxation, then you never work a day in your life. I mean, I guess that could be true. I haven't found one yet because, like, even for me, one of my hobbies was it started off with photography and then it moved over to videography. And just naturally from there, you end up learning how to edit photos, edit videos. It just becomes part of it. And so right now, we actually have a self business where we actually do a lot of photo and video work editing for small companies and small clients here and there. But it ends up becoming work. And I don't know about you, but and again, I'm not an athlete. So Kuya Rod, I can't speak for this, right? But for me at least, when my hobby and my play of photography and videography and even editing and trying out all these little cool tricks that you can make cool edits with became work, there are certain moments when I didn't like it anymore, right? When I dreaded doing it because many times when when your play becomes work, for me, what I've noticed is that there are certain demands that you have to comply with from other people. So you're taking on other people's demands and you're not basically doing things on your own or for yourself, right? Because you have clients now. So I think that might be the same thing with sports. Again, I'm not a professional athlete, so I can't speak for it. But you almost lose the enjoyment part when if your work is to play sports, then right? It's like every day you're training, and sure you might like it, and it's probably just work for you. It's probably not something really enjoyable. I don't know. Again, maybe if there's any professional athletes out there, you can let us know your thoughts. But for me, when my hobby of photography and videography became a job, it became a job, right? The only time I enjoyed it was when I got to do it just for myself, when I had full creative control on how it was going to be. Because when you have clients, they're the boss. Hello to everyone there as well that's saying in our live chat. Our sister Kara at the Carolyn Shank is saying aloha kakahiyaka as well. And Sister Lani is saying happy Monday to everyone. We're talking about work and play. So The next part, really, before we move on to the deeper parts of our discussion, is why is balance of work and play important? And let me just read this one from Kuya Roger. Says, like those that are game testers, they play video games and it's their work. Okay, all right. Actually, I have a couple of friends who do that. I have a couple of friends that do that, and that they're not game testers, but it's kind of like they do play games and they review it online. And I don't know. I know they also get burnt out, right? Because if it's something that they have to do for work, sure, it's also fun. But then if you also have to do the things that are not part of the fun part, such as maybe if they're testing out video games, they're most likely having to fill out reports, right? And they have a boss to speak to that's telling them certain things, then maybe it becomes a bit, there's extra demand there. But when you balance work and play, and this is why it's important, like on my thoughts on this, it gives you, so work gives you the ability or the area where you can grow, right? It gives you areas where you can challenge yourself, step out of your comfort zone, and you build structure and you build purpose out of your work, right? But then the play part offers relaxation, and overall between the two of them, they complement each other. They are complementary, and they also give balance, right? You can't just be all work and no play, or all play, right, and just doing whatever you want and then not doing any work, because then, especially for us, we get taught that we shouldn't be lazy, and ends up, if you're playing all the time and you're not focused on work, focusing on growth and things that can help you provide the things for your life, then maybe that's not going to be good overall in terms of your financial future, your actual ability to provide for the things that you need. So it's important that you have a balance of work and play, but you don't overstress yourself out, right? The play activities is very important too, because a lot more people that I know are more focused on work, and then they forget about the play part. They forget about the relaxation or spending time with their friends, because that is also a place where you can be more creative, but also give you an ability, an area where you can learn new skills. When you're playing, they always say that when you play, that's when you learn the most, especially when it comes to children who are like a sponge and they're taking a lot of information. They learn the most when they're enjoying having fun and they're playing. That's when they can learn the most skills. Speaking as a father, uh, that's something that I've realized with our daughter. When she's having fun, the things that she learns there, it translates over to other skills in life. When she's just playing with her toys, when we're playing with her, right? We're pretend play, as they call it, even for children. So it offers an area where you can learn new things, learn new skills, right? It's a way for you to take a break, and can also enhance, when you're taking breaks, it can enhance your focus and your efficiency with work. Because if you're just focused at work 24 hours, 7 days a week, you go to sleep and then you wake up and you go to back to work and then you go back to sleep. And it's just that whole process repeating over and over. Your mind just kind of gets tired, right? So you need to be able to take a break from work and sort of re-energize and get re-inspired, and see what else is new out there, and explore the potential possibilities of new things. So that's why play is important, and balancing the two is important. Most companies and most people, they grow because they take a time to look at everything else. So that's kind of like their way to reflect back, to take a step back and take a look at what they have in front of them in a playful manner. So that's why it's important that you balance both. It reduces stress, and of course, when you balance work and play, you avoid the extremes, right? Too much work leads to burnout. Too much play can also be negative, because it can result in regret, because you may not have, if you're just relaxed and relaxing all the time and just playing all the time, then you might have regrets of not pushing yourself to the limit, or not trying out new, not trying to work towards something that's going to benefit you even more for the future, because you're just all about relaxing and playing. So too much of either is not a good thing. So balancing work and play, very, very important. Here as well, Kuya Rod shares, I think work and play is like a full circle, and it depends on how much you want to balance it. And that's very true. I just want to note that as well, Kuya Rod. Thank you for bringing that up. For everyone, everyone has a certain ratio, let's say, right? If you have a ratio of work and play, for each person, it's different, right? Especially with the part of your life that you're in right now, the chapter that you're in, the goal that you're trying to achieve, right? It changes over time. It's not that when you were 20-year-old, your work and play ratio, your balance of work and play is the same when you're 30 or when you start a family, right? Or when maybe the kids have moved out of home, or maybe they've started their own family, or maybe if you're still studying, your work and play ratio will differ over the course of your life, but it's important that you balance it in a way. So it will be different for everyone. So Kuya Rod, thank you for bringing that up. He also shares here his acronym for the word work. Kuya Rod, also waiting for your acronym for the word play. But his acronym for the word work is work optimizes results and knowledge. I like that. That's very, very true. Work optimizes results and knowledge, right? That's where you can fine tune your process, fine tune your skill. Like you can hone it and you can get the results and the knowledge that you want. Zenaida is also saying hello to everyone there. Says hello, Ohana, Faith and Melody. Greetings from Midtown Toronto, District of Greater Toronto, Canada. So thank you, Zenaida, for tuning in. So we've just been talking about work and play. So we're about to move on to the next part of our discussion, just to talk a little bit more about each individual one. So before that, let's take another quick musical break. This is our Faith and Melody Heartbeats. It's been requested over the past. Also, one of our favorites here on Faith and Melody. So Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene, if you can get our next Faith and Melody Heartbeat songs ready, what we'll be listening to, the first one is So We Must Work, which was performed during the INC, the Iglesia Ni Cristo 110th anniversary concert there in the Philippine Stadium, there in the Philippines. And of course, the next INC original music after that will be Stay Strong. So everyone don't go anywhere. We'll be listening to these next two songs and then we'll get back into our topic discussion. And with that, Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene, take it away.
Your requested song. Our favorites. Faith and Melody Heartbeats.
rain tries to take everything away. I have lost a lot of things, but it's okay. Floods and raging waters try their best to get in my way, but there's just no stopping me when I have my faith. Looking forward to tomorrow with the strength that I still have. God will never give me something I can't handle. I will stay strong, I will hold on. No matter how rough it gets, I'll walk on. Won't lose hope along the way. I may fall down, but I won't lose my faith. I'll keep getting up to finish this race. I've been yearning for salvation. I'll stay strong inside His nation. I'll keep my eyes fixed on the glorious prize. I face a trial with a smile, 'cause I know He's with me every mile. Each test an opportunity to prove my faith. I don't feel sad, as a matter of fact, I'm glad. I feel happy and I don't feel bad. Ever stronger I will be, as long as He's with me. All the steps are unavoidable, but I know that nothing's impossible. As long as God's with me, I can win each battle. I will stay strong, I will hold on. No matter how rough it gets, I'll walk on. Won't lose hope along the way. I may fall down, but I won't lose my faith. I'll keep getting up to finish this race. I've been yearning for salvation. I'll stay strong inside His nation. I'll keep my eyes fixed on the glorious prize. Let's stay strong, let's all hold on. No matter how rough it gets, carry on. Help each other along the way. Soldier on as we patiently wait, never let go. Let's prove our faith. All of us we yearn for salvation. All of us we have one goal. Let's keep our eyes fixed on the glorious prize.
Welcome back, everyone, to Faith and Melody. And again, those two songs that we just played, So We Must Work and Stay Strong. Hopefully, you enjoyed those. But if you do want to listen to more INC original music, we do recommend that you tune in or you subscribe to our YouTube channels. We have our INC Original Music YouTube channel and also the Iglesia Ni Cristo Production Company YouTube channel, where you can watch more performances like the one that we just watched there about So We Must Work, with all the brothers and sisters all over the world performing different INC original music songs. And on your mobile app and on iOS and Android, you can download the INC playlist to also carry those songs along with you. And with that, just want to continue to give greetings out there in our live chat. We have Emerita Carbajosa that's saying hello to us. And of course, Ate Zenaida's there as well. This one from Manang Flo, I think I just missed this kanina earlier. She shares with us when we're talking about balancing work and play, why that's important. For Manang Flo, she says that her work schedule is already blocked off for the week, and she does the same for her duties, right? She's already blocked all of those things. Time for fun should also be scheduled during the week too, which is very true, right? When it comes to blocking time and you're setting your time management schedule, all of that, you block off time for work, you block off time for your church duties, for yourself, and also for fun, for play. You should block that off as well. You should. I know for me, for my wife and I, we're married, but we still have date nights, right? Well, we try to, right? We try to still have a date lunch or something like that, where we can just catch up with each other and everything else. If it's not a dinner, it's a lunch thing, or we try to just have coffee by ourselves. We go somewhere, like just to a cafe, nothing fancy, right? It's important to do that so you can catch up with your friends, catch up with your spouse, all of those things to kind of reconnect with others. When you're just too engrossed in work, it's not a good thing. But again, if it's a balance of the two. And so with that, I think it's time for us to move on to the next part of our discussion, where we'll break it down a little bit, the whole work and play aspect of our talk for today. So the first one is, let's talk about work in a little bit. What are your tips to develop strong work ethic? Because work is important. Let's make sure that we don't mistake this. Work and doing the things that you need to provide for your life, that's important. So what do you need? Like, if you can share us some of your tips so that you can develop, and even others that might be listening in, that might be watching the replay of this, how can you develop strong work ethics? What tips do you have? For me, one of the things that has helped me is to create a plan, because you need focus, right? If you want to develop strong work ethics, you need to know what you need to focus on, what you need to work on, right? So creating a plan for me has helped tremendously. And then breaking down that plan into small baby steps, right? The little tiny steps that you can do each day, because sometimes you might have such big goals for yourself, for your life, for your future, right? You have this idea of where you see yourself in 3 years time, in 5 years time, those exercises that we used to do in school, like, where do you see yourself, what do you see yourself doing in 5 or 10 years time, right? How about in 6 months, what do you see yourself doing? Like, how much have you changed? You need to be able to have focus on something. You need good work ethics, you need focus. So create a plan, and then break the plan down into baby steps, right? So if your plan is that you see yourself in a particular, let's keep it simple with health, right? In a particular way of your health, your weight, your strength, that sort of thing. Like, break down the steps that you need to take to achieve that. Because many people they have a plan that I want to be healthy, but then they don't break down the steps that they need to get to their ideal vision of what it means for them to be healthy. So make sure that you break it down into steps. I think that's the most important part that a lot of people miss out. Is like, my goal is to have a good house, and my goal is to be able to do this, right? So you need to break down the steps. Kuya Rod shares this a lot, and again, this has been covered many times in the different shows here on INCRadio, and even with the Next Level U, right? Shout out to Mami Mai and the Next Level U team there. SMART goals. They talk about this a lot. SMART is an acronym, and SMART goals are important to help you with the breaking down the steps part, right? So when you set your goal for something, just so that you can make a well-rounded goal, and it's not just something very vague, uh, use SMART goals. So SMART is having a goal that has to be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and it's time bound. So you need kind of like those criterias whenever you set goals for yourself to develop strong work ethics, to work towards something. you need to have a goal that's specific, right? The goal shouldn't be, and I remember I had this problem before. It's like, yeah, I'm going to the gym because I want to be healthy. But specifically, what does that mean? Like, what is healthy for you? Right? Do you want to look like like the really big muscular people that you see on the sports, like the bodybuilding magazines and that? It's like, is that what you want? Or like, you have to be specific. Like, is healthy a particular size, a particular weight? Right? Is healthy you being able to complete a marathon or a half marathon? Just being able to walk to the mailbox and back and not be out of breath. Right? Like, you need to be specific about your goals, and it needs to be measurable, right? So you need to be able to measure something to see if you're getting towards your goal. And of course, make it realistic. It has to be achievable. That's what the SMA is, the achievable part, and also relevant. Now, people get confused, like, what does it mean to be relevant? Well, you need to also know why you've set that goal for yourself. So it needs to be able to be a goal that is related to your overall why. Like, what's the purpose? Why are you trying to achieve this? And once you know your why, then you'll be able to know the steps that you need to take and break it down using SMART goals. So, is that goal that you've set relevant to you achieving your why, your purpose on what you're trying to achieve? And then time bound, again, that will be something that varies for each individual, and for each individual goal is the amount of time. Don't set a goal that's unrealistic, such as a time goal of you losing, I don't know, 5 kilos. I don't know what that is in pounds, right? For those who use different systems. But like, for example, for you to be able to do 100 push-ups, right? And you set yourself that goal, but by the end of the week, you can do 100 push-ups, but then you haven't done a push-up for the past 3 years, right? It has to be a realistic goal, and set yourself a time goal that is realistic as well, right? Give yourself a good amount of time. And that's when you can have a goal that you can be disciplined to applying every day. So that's why it's important that the goals that you've set are bite size. They're baby goals, right? To reach the overall big goal. Um, and that will teach you responsibility. If you've got a goal to set and you print it, you put it in front of you, because work ethics is you remembering to take action, to do the things that you told yourself to do. So if you can't just remember it, and most of us can't, because there's so many distractions that comes into life, right? Our phone, where's my phone? I don't know where my phone is, but our phones are generally one of the biggest distractions in our time, because we're getting messages, we're getting emails, video calls, phone calls. Everything is pretty much done on our phones now. So that's one of the biggest source of distractions. So if you are easily distracted on what your goal is supposed to be, print it out and have it somewhere so that you can see every day, all the time. One of the tips was, like, I think from Sister Elora. Shout out to Sister Elora de Lumpinas there in the United Kingdom. Her tips for that was, like, she actually prints and puts on her home screen, or is it her lock screen on her phone? So whenever she picks up her phone, she sees there the things that she needs to do, right? Put your goals there. Find so that you know what you need to do for the day. And of course, taking action is important. So that's why you need to make the goal smaller, something easy for you to get started, right? If your goal is to exercise for 30 minutes in a day and you're just not motivated, set your goal to exercising for 5 minutes, right? Because once you get started, you go, oh, I've already started. I might as well keep going a little bit longer, right? Just push it to like 7 minutes, and then it becomes 10, 15, 30. It's like, it's going to be so quick. So you just need to get started a little bit. And then the momentum of you getting started is what's going to propel you to go even further. That's what I've found, at least when I've tried to accomplish a goal every day. You know, exercising is not fun for me, but I know it's healthy. And just setting yourself like, okay, I'll just do the warm up, right? Let me just do the 3 minute warm up or the 2 minute warm up, whatever it is. And once you've warmed up, then, oh, okay, well, I'm already warm. Might as well keep going, right? Shout out to Kuya Nathan. Kuya Nathan, Nathaniel Russell is there, tuned in during his lunch break. Thank you to Kuya Nathan for tuning in during his lunch break, and also to Juanito. Hopefully I said that correctly. Ka Juanito Mendy. Happy viewing, everyone, he says, from Italy South. So thank you so much for tuning in as well to Faith and Melody. We're talking about work and play. And if you've got any tips on how to develop strong work ethics, let us know there in the live chat. Let's see if I can read a couple here. Start and end with a prayer. Of course, Sister Desacenas shares here, start and end with a prayer. Because overall, we need our Almighty God to give us the knowledge, the skills that we need, but also like the courage, right, to face the things that might scare us. Usually, things like work is a bit daunting, especially when there's a lot of stress involved. But when we have prayer and our Almighty God on our side, very, very good reminders that we do that. We start and end all of our work with a prayer. We need balance. Kuya Rod says here, we need to balance out work and play so that we don't burn out. Which is very, very true. He shares his acronym now for the word play, which is passionately living, active, and youthful thinking. Right? So that's very, very true. I like that, Kuya Rod. Thank you for trying to put a sentence that fits with the word play. And what else is there? What's they're just talking about what's up for their lunch because a lot of people that's tuned in, okay, Nathan, okay, Rod, I think it's during their lunch break at the moment. But with that, if you've got any other tips for developing strong work ethics, let us know there in the live chat. But the next part that we do want to ask is also what could be the benefits, since we've talked about work a little bit, the work part and developing the work ethics, because that's important. Let's just make sure that we remember that we do what we can so that we can improve our work ethics. During school, I was never, I wasn't the best student. I didn't really like doing the work, the homework, right? But you need to be able to develop the discipline to do that. So you got to find a way to make that goal. Like if the goal is for you to do your homework, set a smaller goal so that you can get started. So for example, just do the first three questions, or maybe if it's read half of the page first. Set that as your goal to get you running, to get you started, right? To get you moving towards the general direction of achieving the goal. And so that if the end goal is to complete the homework, then you just got to get started a little bit, right? You have to get started, take action. So that's the work part. And so the next thing is with the play, since we're talking about work and play, what could be the benefits of including play into our life? And I think it's been mentioned a few times already, especially from our Ohana there that's tuned in and sharing their thoughts and insights. It gives us a ability to reduce the stress. Work is very, very stressful most of the time, especially it's something that is demanded, like it's demands that we kind of like have to do, something that, oh, we didn't really want to do this, but it's what's demanded of me from my work. And generally when it's something that's demanded from you and it's something that you weren't actually planning to do, for example, reports, right, reviews, things like that, homework, right? It's like, why am I doing homework? I already went to school for like, what is it, like 6 hours today or whatever. And now I have to spend another 3 hours at home doing homework. Like, why? It's like, yeah. So it's very stressful, whatever kind of work that you have to accomplish in life, whatever goals that you have to do. So you need time for play. So when you incorporate play, when you, as Manong Flo says, block off the time, schedule the time for play, for relaxation, it can help to reduce stress, to reduce burnout, right? A lot of people become overwhelmed with the things that are demanded from them. They have so much projects and deadlines that they have to meet, and they become overwhelmed with that, generally because they don't get a break, right? There's so much work to do, I can't stop. Oh, I've got so much on my plate, I'm going to skip lunch. I'm going to miss out on dinner because I got to keep on answering more emails. And if you don't get time to yourself to recharge, to log off, pretty much, if that goes on for too long, that's when burnout can occur. That's when overwhelm occurs because work demands a lot of things that you didn't really want to do. Let's face it, right? It's not something that you were expecting to do. It's just part of the job, part of the work, part of the chore, right? So you need to be able to incorporate play to relax, to recharge, Just like how our phones need time to recharge as well. Like our phones go through so much. If you think about your smartphones, emails, phone calls, text messages, social media messages, perhaps video calls, right? You're checking, maybe you're signing into work as well. You've got all these apps. You've got maybe that's where you do your workout apps, your food delivery apps. All of these things are on our phones nowadays. You're checking your schedule on your phone. You got your calendar on your phone. Uh, so much things is there. If you don't recharge your phone, you don't give it time to rest and plug it in and recharge, then over time it's just going to stop working for you. So it's kind of like the same thing with us, with our bodies. If we don't give our time to ourselves to rest, to take a break, that could potentially lead us to burnout, to overwhelm, to stress. So stress isn't good for you. It can, of course, too much stress for too long, right? For certain amount of stress is helpful, can motivate a lot of people. But when it goes on for too long, especially when it's negative stress that goes on for way too long, it can also cause negative effects on our health, mental health, and also our physical health. So we have to be careful of that. Uh, Including play can also help to boost our creativity, our problem solving skills, right? If your work involves sitting at the desk, many times editing videos or answering phone calls or you know, performing tests and reviewing the results and creating reports out of that. Like you're at the desk all the time. Like go out and get some sun. Go out and play. Go for a run. Play some sports. Play some basketball or something. Right? It can help to re-energize you and you become more focused. Um, our sister Des says here, play can enhance other skills without the mental pressure. Very true, right? A lot of times, I know a lot of people, their way to de-stress is to go out and play sports, or even some people now play video games inside. I mean, each to their own, but even video games can teach you hand-eye coordination. Certain games can teach you problem solving skills in a fun environment. And then you can sort of apply those problem solving skills perhaps in your own work. So there are benefits to incorporating play because it does teach you a lot of other skills without, like what Sister Des says here, without the pressure, without the mental pressure that, oh, this has to be right. This has to be 100% correct right now because it's going to the boss or it's going to the client, right? Play is it makes everything fun. You can experiment, you can fail and then try again. All of those things. Kuya Rod says we need play so we can de-stress. Very, very true. Uh, Play also gives us time to reflect on our purpose and our values. A lot of times, for me, one of the ways that I relax is actually stretching. We try to, my wife and I try to stretch every morning. It's very important for us to stretch, especially as you become more experienced in life, right? As you get through the years in life, you end up doing more work and less playing, less stretching, right? And what I've come to realize, like especially when I had a little bit of a tumble earlier in the year, and I ended up not really playing or exercising as much, is that I got slower, right? I got less flexible, but also like just picking things up off the floor got a little bit more difficult, So it's nice that you incorporate something that can move your body. You got to move your body around. You got to stretch. You got to do something fun, right? To kind of like bring the youth back into yourself. Because everyone's young, right? Everyone's young, but you got to also play young, right? You got to act young as well when you have that time to yourself so that you can move your joints around, right? Because if you're just constantly like me, always sitting at your desk and generally when you're at your desk or at the computer, you realize, or you may not realize that you hunch, right? Because the keyboard and the screen, you're hunched over. When you have your phone with you, you're looking down. So it's like you're not really proper posture and you're in that pose for hours on end, right? When you're doing like office work, for example. So it's important that you be able to incorporate play that can stretch things around and move things around. And you find that balance and you'll find that it re-energizes you. Kuya Rod just shared here, don't forget to hydrate when you work or play. Very true, both on both of them, whether you're working, you're playing, make sure you hydrate, right? Drink your water, make sure you get some hydration in you, especially if the weather, even if the weather is cold, especially when the weather is hot, but even when the weather is cold, or even if you have the AC on, right? I've actually had a couple of doctor friends that we have. Good thing about having, the brothers and sisters in the faith. Like many of them are nurses or doctors as well that you get to meet, and they give you that advice as well. That when you have the aircon on and things like that, you need to be able to hydrate also because you don't realize it, but electric fans, actually more like AC, the air conditioning, that dries out your eyes and your throat. So it's important that you always remain hydrated, right? Especially for those who are experiencing hot weather at the moment. Here in Australia, it's actually a little bit cool at the moment. We're in autumn, autumn. We are in autumn at the moment. Spring, autumn, winter, spring. Okay, wait, spring. We're in spring at the moment because I know the US, they're in autumn at the moment. But there you go. Okay, Nathan says, coffee contains water, right? Yes, it does contain water. But I don't know how hydrating the caffeine is in the coffee. I think that actually counteracts it counteracts the what the water is supposed to do, Kuya Nathan. But I like where your mind is at because I do like at least 1 cup of coffee every day. And with that, I think I will take this opportunity to take another quick break. Um, Take another musical break before we move on because we've talked already about how we can develop strong work ethics and with the play part, why it's important that we incorporate play, especially good reminders. A good reminder for those of us that might be tuned in that is just been working so hard and they've forgotten to give times to recharge and de-stress and look after themselves, right? But what if those things are too much? Right? What if you have too much work? What if you're doing too much play, right? What will that affect? What can we do about that? So that's what's coming up next in our discussion. But before that, Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene, if you can get the next INC original music that will be playing for our quick musical break. This next one is titled Guide My Heart. This is the a cappella. This is the a cappella version of the song Guide My Heart. So Kuya Nico, Kuya Irene, let's play this song for everyone.
You've been there since the beginning. You have loved me from the start. You were always there to teach and guide my heart. As the world spins on around me, I choose which path to take. You always show me, Lord, which steps to make. Lord, please hear my prayer. Light my way as I walk to forever. Hold my hand, Lord, through the night. Guide me through the dark and help me shine bright. Hold my hand, Lord, and keep my feet on the ground. From you I'll never part, whatever comes my way, I pray. Please guide my heart. If I face more pain and sorrow and tread a path unknown, I'll have no fear 'cause you will lead me home. The clouds may hide the rainbow, but like waves that fall ashore, you show me how your blessings overflow. Lord, please hear my prayer. me through the dark and help me shine bright. Hold my hand, Lord, and keep my feet on the ground. From you I'll never part, whatever comes my way, I pray. Hold my hand, Lord, through the night. Guide me through the dark and help me shine bright. Hold my hand, Lord, and keep my feet on the ground. From you I'll never part, whatever comes my way, I pray. Please guide
Welcome back, everyone, to Faith and Melody, and we're towards the final stretch of our conversation today about work and play. And if you just tuned in with us earlier, we've covered what it means, what work and play means for us, why the balance is important between work and play, developing the work ethics, and also incorporating how we can incorporate play into our life. But with that, what if it's too much, right? How can you recognize? How would you recognize when your work play balance is off? When you have too much work or too much play? Have you ever experienced that? And have any signs? Is there any signs that you've realized or you've noticed when your balance of work and play is off? Right. So if you have too much work, for me, and I think everyone has mentioned this many times, the burnout and the stress becomes real, right? But then, you got to remember that sometimes stress is a certain level of stress can be good because it can help to motivate and kind of like get you fired up, right, to continue working and persevering through it. But then too much of it, right? When you have too much work and then the too much stress comes on and it's on for too long, that can cause a lot of overwhelm, burnout, but also health issues, right? Many of us don't realize like certain physical health issues, mental health issues, or those strains that happens because of the work and the demand that we have to go through when we have to when we have to try and meet deadlines, right? Sometimes that you might realize the creaking your neck, your shoulders hurt, your back hurts because you're constantly you don't realize that you're already been sitting at your office desk for 12 hours and you haven't moved just because you haven't even eaten anything. It's because of how much work there is, right? You kind of like have to recognize those little signs when if your work play balance is off. Uh, if you work too much, this has happened to me before, right? It can actually put a strain on your relationships. Let me know if you agree, right? If you're constantly working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, right? You don't have time for your family. You don't have time for your partner or your kids, right? For those who might be married, you don't have time to spend with your friends and you don't have time for yourself, right? Part of looking after yourself is self care, right? Whether that's, pampering yourself, going to the gym, play, exercise, whatever it might be. But if you don't even have time for that, if you don't give yourself time, then you're going to end up not liking whatever work it is you're doing because you're going to be depleted of energy, right? You'll be sucked of too much energy because everything is going towards the stress of the work that you might be undergoing. So it's important that we recognize those little signs, especially when your partner starts telling you, you don't spend enough time with me. Right? No, that's not a joke. But that's like, it's basically one of those things that we have to realize that if we're not spending enough time with our family and friends, that can put a strain on that connection, on that relationship, right? You don't build that connection by spending time apart. You need to have quality time with each other. Usually that involves keeping your phones away, right? Not having the phone constantly beeping because you're getting emails and text messages and all of those things on social media, and paying attention when you're actually supposed to be with your loved ones, right? So it's important that we try to also not have too much work, and give time to ourselves to disconnect so that we can relax, that we can give time to look after our health. But what about we got too much play? About for those who have too much play? Um, the only time that I can recall when I can sort of pull some examples out was during, how the end of the year, most companies, end of the year, early of the beginning of the year, most companies, they go on break. So that means you go on break, right? They kind of like force leave, right? So there was one point where I was doing contract work. And so we went on break pretty early, right? So I had like almost 2 months of basically around that time of no extra work or anything else like that. So when you're just playing around too much, you just, uh, you know, it's good. But if you have too much play, too much relaxation, too much playing games or whatever it is, you can eventually lose, well, skills, but also lose purpose, right? And then you end up when work comes back around, you don't want to go to work anymore. You lose the drive when you have too much play, right? If that goes on for too long, imagine if you weren't doing anything productive with your skills, you're not growing, you're not pushing yourself out of your comfort zone, you're not trying to become the next level you, right? Then you're going to end up not wanting to because you're going to get used to the easiness of life, right? It's gonna be easier for you to not try anything hard, right? That's why when I started getting back into exercising, trying to do push-ups again, it was hard. After you haven't done it for like 6 months, it was hard to even do the first one. Right? And before, maybe you could have done like 10 easy, 20 easy, no problems. But then after if you go for a long break not doing that, then it becomes very, very challenging. So you don't want to do too much play. You'll end up procrastinating all the important stuff as well. And that becomes a habit. A lot of these things can become a habit, right? Too much work, that can become a habit that can negatively impact your relationships. Too much play, that can become a habit that can negatively impact your purpose and your aspirations to become better, to become stronger, to become a better version of yourself. So make sure that there is a balance there. When you start realizing that you have regrets, you're procrastinating, you're not doing things, a whole day goes past, and you look back and you go, "What did I accomplish today? I ate food. That's it." Right? So you kind of have to be a little bit concerned that if that is your day every single day, right, for a week, a month, a year, you shouldn't let it get to a year, but it's something that you have to be careful of. Kind of like those signs to recognize when your work play balance might be off. Kuya Rod shares here. I think, where is it? I think it's off when your health is affected. That's very true. I think that's one of the not easiest, but it's one of the saddest realizations that your work-play balance is off. Like you're too stressed, you haven't been taking care of your health, you haven't been watching what you eat, you haven't been hydrating, right? All of those things, you've been just focused on work, 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 and then your health declines. I think that's one of the saddest moments when you recognize it a little bit too late, right? A little bit, because like once you recognize it, then hopefully that is kind of like the wake up call for you to take action and make changes, right? So we should try and always constantly grow and improve and to make the changes that can help us to balance work and balance play so that we don't become too stressed or become too lazy, right? So we have to make sure that we balance those things. Sister Des also shares here, you get anxious and have that feeling that something's off. That's true. When your work play balance is off, you kind of also get that feeling in your gut that, there's something missing. Like, I'm not completing, like, I'm not achieving 100% of who I should be. What's that word? Not reaching my full potential. There's that word, right? I'm not reaching my full potential because I'm not focused enough on maybe resting, right? I'm not focused enough on giving time to self-reflect, right? I'm not giving enough time for my family, right? So you need to also make sure that you take time to balance that. And actually, that leads us to the final part. Um, just to round that off about balancing work and play. For those who are tuned in, what message can you share to those who might be struggling to find their work play balance? Since we've talked about the importance of balancing work and play, on their own, they're important, they have advantages, but there also are disadvantages when you have too much of one and not enough of the other. So, what message can you share for those out there that might be listening? We've got a few silent listeners there, and maybe those who might be listening on the radio or watching the replay. What can you share as a message to help those who might be struggling to find that work play balance? And one that I've mentioned earlier just then, self reflection, right? You need to give time to step away just to reflect and kind of like do a analysis a little bit of your life and just where everything falls, right? Is everything falling in the right place? Are you giving enough time for work? Are you giving time to look after yourself, for your health, your well-being, for your connections with your partner, with your spouse, your children, your friends, your family, or your spiritual health as well? Your time with God, your time for your duties, you have to give time for everything and make sure that it's all balanced. Assess where everything is and where you are spending your time. Usually, I'm more of a digital person, so I love using calendars. So I have a calendar, not just a daily calendar, but I have a yearly calendar. So I have the whole year laid out, and just basically each day of the month of each day of each month, I have an idea of what is happening. Not like the details, because that's where the daily calendar comes in, but my year-long calendar shows me like exactly the main events that's happening throughout the year. And you can see if a lot of it is blank and you have nothing going on, then that's probably when you have to do a bit more of a deep dive on where your time is being spent. If everything just says work and everything is work, and then in the middle of the year, there's one day that says, oh, family time. And then the rest of the year, it still says work. That's something that you have to make sure you consider and think about. Like, are you neglecting the important people in your life? Because one thing that I've realized as I've gone through the years is basically, especially as a father and having a daughter now who is turning 7, right? She's turning 7 years old. Can you believe that? Right? I mean, I can't believe it myself. Like, she's 6 right now, but in about, what is that? We're in September at the moment. In a very short month, a few months, she's going to be 7 years old. Like, where did the time go? Time goes by so quickly. And if everything that you have done is all just play, if everything that you have done is all just work, like, can you say that you're happy, that you're fulfilled, that the thing that's most important to you is what you've achieved? Because one of the things that I've been told, friends have told me, is that especially more experienced adults in my life in the past, is that when you come towards the end of your life, you're not going to be worrying about, did you get that report in on time? Did you get that phone call with that client? Did you get that, did you get the deadlines? Did you meet that? Right? The things that you're going to remember at the end of your life are the memories that you've created, or maybe the lack of, right? That's what you got to remember. Like, where is the value? What's the most important thing in your life, right? Is it the job that's, they can replace you anytime? That if you quit, oh, they'll get somebody in, right? That they can survive even without you. Or is it your family? Or is it like your loved ones? Is it your duty? Is it your connection with God, your membership, your faith? Are those the things that's most important? You need to remember what is the most important thing in your life. So self-reflection is very, very important with that. And once you've realized where the actual value is, what you need to protect, what's the treasure in your life, you need to set the boundaries, right? Work is important, play is important, our spiritual faith is important, our mental health is important, time with our family, all of those things, they have importance in our life, but we need to allocate time. So setting boundaries for each one and not letting them overlap, especially when it comes to work. Don't let your work overlap with the time with your family, right? I know people who go on holidays and they're still being contacted by their boss, right? You should be getting paid more if you're getting contacted by your boss while you're on holiday, right? Because if they can't survive without you, well, it's like, well, I think you need to evaluate how much you're getting paid, right? But it's important to remember that no amount of money can replace you with your family, with your loved ones. So that's for me, at least, right? And maybe for some of you that might be listening, that's where the most important part is for me, is that when there's work, that's work. But then once that's the time allocated, the boundaries been met for that day, right? When you're with your family, when you're with your children, when you're with your friends, that you're focused, that you're present, that you're there with them, that you're listening, you're finding out how they are, and you're building that stronger connection. Um, and of course, if you are struggling with that work play balance, maybe it's got to do with like with the work aspect of it. Make sure that you set your goals and you break it down to baby steps. You break it down to something smaller, and if the struggle with you that you're facing might be the actual taking action, uh, find people who can support you. Find people find the people who are going to be there to help you or encourage you with your goals, right? Your loved ones might be, your close circle of friends might be, right? Your support people. Who are they that will give you that encouragement saying, hey, how's that project going? Oh, I heard that you're building a website. How's that going? Right? Uh, Quick shout out uh, to my sister, because one of the things that we've supported her with right now is like over a while, and quite recently, my sister has now become an author. She has written a children's book, and I think for her, it's one of the new challenges that she's faced, that she's taken on to grow and improve. She's written a children's book, right? And as her family, we've been the ones that's really supporting her, giving her the encouragement and all of that. And she says for her, that's like the most important thing. Like that's one of the biggest things is that she's got that encouragement, that positive affirmation that she's getting from her, from her kuya, from her parents, that sort of thing, from her friends as well. Can never undervalue the amount of impact supportive people have in you achieving your goals in life. And with that, surround yourself with the right people. With the right people, that's probably the most important part of that. You have to surround yourself with the correct people that's going to help you achieve the things that you want. That's going to help you find that balance between work and play. And with that, before we move on to our verse of the week, let me just read a couple of the insights there from our Ohana in live chat. Let me just go through it really quick. Kuya Rod says, if you're not spending enough time with your family, maybe something is off. I would invite them for a coffee or to eat out and talk or listen. That's what Kuya Rod's message is. If there's people that might be struggling, if he has friends, like you probably invite them to coffee or somewhere to eat, to talk or to listen to them. Sister Des Asena says, swallow your pride and ask for help. That is a very, very, very good thought and reminders what our Ate Des says, asking for help. Because it's so easy to give help. I don't know, something that I've realized. It's easy for me that at least over the years, I can give help and help somebody that's in need so simply, so quickly. But when I need help, I just keep it to myself, right? I don't know how to ask for help. And I've just been dependent on me, you know? So that's something that is definitely needs to be learned. For me and maybe for others that might be listening, ask for help. I don't know if it's pride why I don't ask for help, but also I think from my point of view, it's like I don't want to burden others. I don't know if anybody else gets that, but I feel like if I ask for help, I know that they're already going through so much. I know people are not talking about the challenges that they're facing. So, but I know that people have their own problems. So it's like I'll deal with this myself. But it's so true that you really need to ask for help. One of the most difficult challenges that I faced was basically that time when my whole world changed when we found out that our daughter was diagnosed and is diagnosed with autism, right? Like that was completely new to me. That's something that was totally unexpected. And I just didn't know how to ask for help, right? I mean, we held our devotional prayers to find courage, understanding, but also courage to find the right people that's going to help us. And we did, right? We did. So it's so true what our sister Des said there. Whatever it is, whatever the reason is that you may not be asking for help, that's one of the things that we can do. We can ask for help. So swallow your pride. Uh, don't worry about problems because people, especially the right people, they are more than willing to help you. Because I know for a fact that I was going through a lot of my own challenges, but I was so happy to help other people, so happy to help friends, right? So kind of like put it like that way. Just ask for help. It's like, hey, do you have a moment to talk? Take your road advice. Take them out for coffee, grab something to eat, and just have a chat. Having a chat opens up so much conversations that's going to help a lot of people. It's just being able to talk to someone. And don't forget, we also have our Almighty God to help us, to give us that knowledge, that understanding, the skills that we need to get through whatever challenges that we're facing. Manang Flo says, I am a visual person, po, so I like to write things down in my planner to see where my time is at. This gives you an idea where to pencil in what is missing or still need to do. Very true. I like a digital calendar. That's what I like. But if you like the more paper-based ones, my wife is actually more of the paper-based. She's got a calendar on the fridge and she writes it there, the schedule for the month. So I love that. Uh, Kuya Joshua Arteta is just tuned in as well. Kuya Joshua, thank you so much for tuning in. I know it's a little bit early in the morning there in the Philippines, but thank you for tuning in. He's got a couple of song requests, but I'm not sure if we're going to get to that today. But he's just saying, gandang madaling araw, gandang gabi, Kuya Jay. Pagbati po sa aming tagapamasiwa, tagapangasiwa. So that's the best I can say that. Kapatid na Dominador Tapang Jr. at sa kanyang tambahayan. So it's just greeting his resident minister, I believe, Dominador Tapang Jr. I think that's what that stands for. That means. But thank you, Kuya Josh. Thank you for your support. Thank you for that greeting as well. Kuya Rod Kahayag says, food is a great way to bring people together, discuss certain things. And it's got this acronym for food, which is Friends on Outstanding Discussions. Oh, Kuya Rod, I'm going to change that to Friends over Outstanding Discussions. Wait, does that make sense? But yes, that's so true, right? You can have great discussions over food with friends. So go for coffee, go for a chat, go eat some food, and you can talk out and a lot of things, and you can get extra inspiration to find that work play balance with everyone that you know. And so with that, thank you to everyone that shared their thoughts, their insights. Hopefully, you've all gained something to take away from our discussion today. Thank you so much for joining me, right, and spending the next 2 hours, the past 2 hours with me, with your Kuya Jay, and sharing your own perspective on our conversation about work and play. But of course, our final segment here on Faith and Melody that we never forget is our verse of the week. And this week on Faith and Melody, our verse of the week is titled "Why We Need Self-Discipline." This is by a minister of the gospel, Brother Erwin Sunga. So let's all take a moment to listen to this week's verse of the week. Vitek, take it away.
Today, we're diving into something we all need: self-discipline. Doing what we need to do despite the temptations that may come up. You know, successful people, including athletes, understand the value of self-discipline. That's how they're able to accomplish their goals and even become more resilient. But as Christians, can having self-discipline help us take care of our relationship with God and even gain a better life? I'm Brother Erwin Sunga, and we will answer this question in this verse of the week. Here in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verses 25 to 27. Every athlete in training submits to strict discipline in order to be crowned with a wreath that will not last, but we do it for one that will last forever. But I discipline my body and bring it into subjection, lest when I have preached to others, I myself should become disqualified. Here the Bible reminds us that having self-discipline can help lead us to our greatest goal, God's promise of salvation, and as His servants, that is our ultimate goal. So just like athletes, let us have strict discipline. Always live by our Lord God's commands in every aspect of our life, and include Him in every decision that we make. Let's find more ways to improve our services to our Lord God. And we should understand that making sacrifices goes hand in hand with having self-discipline. We hope that this verse of the week gives you the inspiration you need to start your week. Stay safe, stay strong, stay faithful. God bless.
Yes, I just want to say thank you again to Brother Erwin Sunga for that great reminder. Another piece of spiritual advice that we can all take away from our discussion today, and also for this week on Faith and Melody about self-discipline. Very, very true that we need that in all aspects of our life. And with that, I just want to also just give a quick reminder for those who might be tuned in that are not members of the Church of Christ, but you want to know more about our faith, our values as Iglesia Ni Cristo, as Church of Christ members. You can, of course, reach out to us. Um, we have so many different social media platforms that you can reach out to. But of course, here on Faith and Melody, you can also email us faithandmelody@incradio.net. And we're more than happy to give you some more information on where you can reach the closest local congregation of the Iglesia Ni Cristo Church of Christ. And so with that, I just again, if you're want to say thank you to everyone that's joined us, that's greeted us there in our live chat, that might be watching us live at the moment. Of course, thank you so much for all your thoughts, your insights, for your support, for always tuning in to Faith and Melody. We always hope that we give you that extra spark, that extra inspiration to get through not just your day, but also this whole new week that is upon us. And with that, if you are currently watching or listening to our replay episodes, which is on Sundays, if you're listening to us on our Sunday episodes over the radio there in the Philippines, Sunday evenings, we invite you to join us live as well here on our YouTube channel on INCRadio DZM 954's YouTube channel every Monday to Thursday, 9 a.m. for the States at 9 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And for those in the Philippines, that is Tuesday to Friday at 12:01 a.m. Philippine Standard Time. Join us again tomorrow with, I believe, with Ate Care, with Sister Care. They'll be hosting tomorrow's broadcast of Faith and Melody. And again, thank you to everyone that's joined in, to all of our listeners, to all of our viewers, to our Kuya Tex, our Kuya Nico, and Kuya Irene there in the main studio, and of course to Sister Des Asenas and our brother Edwin Asabuke. And a special acknowledgements, greetings, and thanks to our CEBSI President, CEO, and CFO Coordinator, Brother Angelo Iranio Manalo, and of course to our Executive Minister of the Iglesia Ni Cristo of the Church of Christ, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, for helping us and giving us platforms such as this and all the other different platforms where we can not only reach out to our fellow brothers and sisters in the faith, to our friends out there all over the world, but also to be able to share our faith with each and every one of you that are listening with us today. The next program is Iglesia Ni Cristo in the Bible, with their topic of today, Getting Back to the True Life and to the True Home. That's hosted by Brother Ariel Evangelista and Brother Jan Bautista, ministers of the gospel. The closing song for our show will be the INC original music, The Prize Will Finally Be Won. This is your Kuya J. Esperanza, and we hope we made the start of your week extra meaningful. Invite more of your friends to join us again on tomorrow's episode of Faith and Melody. Until then, keep safe, and have a great week. Bye for now, everyone. Thank you.
We got to keep on running, onwards we must rise. We're not running for nothing. Keep our eyes on the prize. Though we may be tired, we must never stop. There's nothing to it, or just do it. The crown of life, we cannot lose it. Stand up, hold your head up high. Get up, we're racing for our faith. Rise up and fight for the prize. Get up and complete the race. We're racing towards the finish line. We have to make it to the end, yeah. Stand up, hold your head up high. Get up and complete the race.
Break us down, but we must stand tall. Take the tests as they come, and let's overcome them all.
Whatever may happen, we will never give up.
'Cause we are in it to win it. The crown of life is our war.
Stand up, hold your head up high. Get up, we're racing for our faith. Rise up and fight for the prize. Get up and complete the race. We're racing towards the finish line. We have to make it to the end, yeah. Stand up, hold your head up high. Get up and complete. Our race is almost over.
The prize will finally be won.
Keep running a little bit longer.
Running a little bit
Keep running a little bit longer. Don't even think of quitting.
Don't even think of forfeiting.
We're almost at the finish line of our race. Stand up, hold your head up high. Get up, we're racing for our faith. Rise up and fight for the prize. Get up and complete the race. We're racing towards the finish line. We have to make it to the end, yeah. Stand up, hold your head up high. Get up and complete. Our race is almost over. The prize will finally be won.
Ito ang INCRadio, DZEM 954, ang tinig ng katotohanan, himpilan ng Iglesia ni Cristo, sumasahimpapawid mula sa Quezon City.